So, if you'd like to mod the audio in AEW Fight Forever, I have a tool that should make that a lot easier. You could find the tool here on Nexus Mods, link in the description. And there's also a guide for the tool that you could find on my GitHub page, and I have a link to that in the description as well, detailing everything I'm about to talk about in much more detail. So some of the tools that you'll need Fmodel, where I have a link for that in the description as well. That's going to be what you use to extract the game's audio banks, which you want to mod. Then you're also going to, of course, need my tool, which you could grab from Nexus Mods. My tool is a Python-based tool, so you're going to need Python. I have a link for that. And you're also going to have to follow this video to set Python up on Windows once you do install it. Another tool I recommend getting is Foobar. You don't need to use that necessarily to make audio mods, but it's very helpful for testing and for seeing which tracks in the audio bank you want to change. To use it for video games, you need the video game stream plugin, the VGM stream plugin, and to install that in Foobar, if you open Foobar and you go to configure, components, and then just install the VGM stream plugin in there. Alright, so now that you have all of that set up, first things first, let's open Fmodel. So if you go into your Fmodel and you open it up, you want to go to directory selector and you want to add on detected game and give it a name, for example AEW, and then have a directory which points to your content/packs directory in your AEW Fight Forever installation, and then don't forget to hit the plus button. When you do that, you'll see the option in the drop down menu here for AEW, and then just click OK. So the settings, you're going to want to select an output directory. That's going to be where you export that to. It's going to be this directory /exports. So just click the three dots and pick a directory. I like to put mine in modding folder, AEW Fight Forever. This exports directory will be what it creates. I'll just select folder, but then it's going to stick it inside this export subdirectory under that folder. So select folder, and then you should already be pointing to the game's archive directory, but very important, set the UE version to UE 427. Okay, and under directory AES, you have to put the AES key for AEW Fight Forever, which should also be in my tutorial, and I'll link to it in the description. Alright, then select loading mode all and load. And now you're going to want to scroll down and find the audio bank that you're going to want to mod. Chances are it's going to be under either game data assets or game data resources. If you want to mod the music or the ring announcer, it's going to be under game data resources cryware data, and you're going to want to extract here the music.awb. Just do export raw data.uasset and the ring announcer, and then in addition to that, you're going to want to come up to assets audio, and then for example, for the music, you're going to want to extract the music.uasset. You don't have to worry about all these others, just the music.uasset down here. So again, just right click, export uasset, and then similarly for anything else, for the ring announcer, you would look for the ring announcer.uasset in here, or ra.uasset, and export raw data. If you want to extract, let's say for example, the character voices, that's generally in generic roster. So you would come in here and find the generic roster.uasset and export raw data. And the other one that I'm supporting right now is the referee. So referee.uasset and export raw data. Alright. So once you've done that, make a note of where it exports it to. Typically that's going to be if you look in your set. So now that you've done all of that, we should be done with Fmodel. We can look under that exports directory that I was talking about. Go to AEW Fight Forever, content, game data, right? And it's the usual tree, right? So if you look at, for example, assets, audio, right? You could see all of that, what I just extracted. All right. So let's say that you want to just use someone else's mod. So if you want to just use someone else's audio mod, you're going to grab my tool from Nexus Mods, and you're going to extract it. And you should see an audio mods directory, and you can just stick the audio mod folder into here. The folder should have, in general, a config file and a bunch of different music tracks. The config file should point to the bank that you want to replace music in, and then it'll have several lines telling you what the original file was named and what the new file you want to replace that file with. So assuming you got an audio mod from someone, you just stick it in the audio mods directory. So you're going to want to come into your top config.json, and you're going to want to add the new audio mod to here. Whatever new audio mods you had. Right? Let's say there were 3 of them, right? So you would add them like this with a comma after each one, except the last one, it should never have a comma after it. Or if you want, you can put them in the top and just leave the no comma line in there. So you could do this, and then all 3 would have a comma. Then you need to also point this guy to the directory, the parent directory where you extracted from Fmodel, right? So if we look back at what that was, it's going to be the parent directory of AEW Fight Forever. It should end in exports, right? So in my case, it's this demodding AEW FF exports, which is like already what I have inside of my top config. But for you, you would change this accordingly. So there's 2 changes that need to be made to top config. This pointer to the root export directory from Fmodel, and adding or replacing the audio mods that I have in here already with whichever audio mods you want. And then you're going to need to run my script, which is the UE4Cryware audiomodder.py script. So you should be able to right click and just open a command prompt in the same directory as the UE4Cryware audiomodder.py. If you don't see an option to open a command prompt, just go to the Microsoft Store and download Windows Terminal. All right, so open in Terminal. If you don't see a command prompt, let's say it came up instead and looked something, I don't know, like this. Then click this down arrow, go to Settings, change your default profile, make sure that it's command prompt, save, and you can close out of it, and then you can try that again, open in Terminal, and now you should see it come up with a command prompt. Alright, so if you want to run this thing, just do Python UE4Cryware audiomodder.py. Cool. So what that'll do is it'll create a packed folder, and in that packed folder you're going to have essentially the packaged audio mods that you're going to stick into the ~mods directory of your AEW Fight Forever game. And that's it. Start up your game and you should be good to go, you know, with the usual techniques for being able to run mods in the game. I'm not going to go over it here. So let's say you want to make an audio mod. So first of all, you want to figure out which tracks you want to replace. So for that, you're going to want to run my tool in extract mode. How do you run my tool in extract mode? Go to the top config.json and keep running the extraction to true, but skip the injection and packing and skip the cleanup. That's really the key, skipping the cleanup, right? The cleanup is going to be the part that deletes all of the extracted files. So we do not want to do that if you want to see what files get extracted. So let's save this. And what's key is you need, if you want to extract a particular bank, you have to have at least one mod in here that touches that bank, because this will only extract the banks that have corresponding mods in here. I already have a sample mod for each of the banks that I'm supporting right now. So that's the character voice bank, the referee bank, the ring announcer bank, and the music bank. So if you leave this as it is when you download the tool, all 4 of those banks right now would get extracted. So let's run it. So right click, open in terminal, Python UE for private audio modder. So this is not actually modding anything. This is just extracting the audio banks, extracting the music, the audio tracks from the banks that you extract in an Fmodel. So now you can see that there's all these ACB and AWB files that got extracted. And there's also a directory referee, ring announcer, music, and generic roster, which is the character voices. If you see an AWB file, that's going to be the one you want to open in Foobar. And if you don't, then just open the ACB. So let's do the music, for example. So if I open the music, you can see that basically you see for each track the name. Now the tracks here start from number 1. Let's say that the track that you want to modify is this one here, Adam Cole, right? So that's number 99, but that starts from 1. If I look in music at which track that actually is, these start from 0, so it's going to be number 98. So for that, you're going to want to come in here to audio mods. You're going to create a new directory or just copy one of the existing ones. So let's say, for example, that you want to mod the music. So this guy is already modding the music, right? It's putting the Halo intro over the Dynamite intro. So let's make a copy of this directory. And let's say that we're going to do something else over the Dynamite intro. Let's do favorite intro, whatever your favorite intro is, right over the Dynamite intro to the game. So now come in here, and you're going to want to put your favorite intro into here. Name this one, but of course you're going to want to put in your own favorite intro. And then you're going to open the config.json, and you're going to put in here the track that you want to replace, and you're going to put in here what you want to replace it with, which in this case would be favorite intro. That was 98. Make sure you have the right number of zeros. So this is the file that you're going to be replacing, the Adam Cole intro, and you're going to replace it with whatever your favorite intro is that you're going to stick in here. And that's it. That's how you make an audio mod. And to test your audio mod, come into top-config.json, put these back to true so it'll actually make the mod. I would recommend always cleaning up, unless you're running in extract mode. And that's it. Save. Come in here. Right click, open in terminal. Do Python UE for private audio modder.py. And enter. And it should create a pack directory once it finishes running with your packaged audio mods that you could stick until the mods and testing your game. So that's it. Happy audio modding.